everybody. My name is Eli.
I'm Jason.
I'm Caden.
I'm Jaden.
And we are the Echo and the Torah YouTube channel.
And we know that your time is very valuable, and we thank you guys very much for joining us, and we appreciate you guys listening, and everybody that is out there. We are extending our family table to all of you guys, and we know that your time is very valuable. And we had a lady comment on there and said we were too silly in our last one, and I guess I'd like to let everybody know, I guess first and foremost, is that this house is with 10 pit bulls and the kind of stress and the kind of craziness that we have in this house, that silliness is real rare. It's usually sternness, it's usually on edgedness, it's usually not a great time a lot of times. And so we are a very high performance, and you know, we live out in the middle of a jungle, and there's a lot of things that could actually end up killing us every single day. And so it is actually stressful. It's not like living in the city or living in the North America. You get up every morning and you know that you'll go to bed every night. We can be bitten by snakes and caterpillars that kill you. There's a tremendous amount of things that can go wrong in this house, and so we are on edge quite a bit. And so I appreciate her comment that said we were silly, but as a family, we should actually be enjoying the Word of Yah. We should be able to laugh and joke, and you know, our Creator doesn't want people sitting there crazy and sad and upset and everything. So I guess if you guys believe this is silly, I am super, super sorry. It is not silly to us. It is very important to us, and that is why we are spending our time doing this with you guys and figuring out what the laws, statutes, and commands of our Creator are. So hopefully you guys can relax out there and have a little bit of a good time with us while we are able to have good times. And a lot of you guys, I mean, you can listen to the other episodes that we have, and you can tell when there's a lot of stress, a lot of issues. You know, we're not as bubbly as we are on some days. Today, we're actually recording this on a Sabbath day, so that we have it for tomorrow, because we never know in rainy season if we'll actually have a day without rain, and the rain is almost unbearable. You can't even hear anything, and we feel like we're screaming, and it just doesn't feel like it's a real good lesson. And so we try to record these when we can. And so on a Shabbat, we actually have a little more time to chill and to hang out and to, I guess, I don't want to say be silly, but be freer than we are on an average day. So with that, gentlemen, how the heck are you guys doing?
Good.
Went over that today. Today is still the same day, but I hope you guys are doing well. And we ended up with 2 commands, which, let me scroll to the bottom of this, that I guess it took me off guard a little bit, because I didn't know, honestly, about this. So we ended the other day, and we've been on, this is making noise, sorry. We ended on Command 49. We've been on Command 49 for like the last 4 or 5 chapters. And then we had one in Exodus 30. These are the ones that kind of took me off guard, because I didn't know there's like a command. I did know that there was, you shouldn't mix this stuff. I remember this from back in the days when I was reading this. I'm like, oh, that's really weird. But when you write it down, it becomes something totally different. So let's go over the 2 commands here that we got last time. Commandment 50, do not make or use on a normal person. And what that means is this stuff right here. Principal spices of pure myrrh, sweet cinnamon, let's see, sweet calamus, cassia. So basically, whatever these ingredients are mixed in this proportion, we are not supposed to ever use on a person. And then we ended up with this here, and do not make or use on a normal person, right? And so this is like Yah's special perfume or something of the sort. I don't know exactly why he wouldn't want us to do this, but he has his ways, and his ways are always right. Just like when you're not supposed to mix wool and linen together, it creates a frequency that'll harm you as a human. So we would know this stuff, but this is what Yah likes. And so this command 51 is talking about sweet spices, stacta, anka, galbanum. These sweet spices of pure frankincense, right? And so you're not supposed to take these, and we have another reference to this down there, and we might put a different version in there.
That is the different
version. That's a different version right there. Okay, yeah, so then the Lord said to Moses, take sweet spices, stacta, I don't know, stacia, maybe, onycha and galbanium, sweet spices with pure frankincense in equal amount, right? We wouldn't do this because Yah says do not make this. So that's where we are at. All right, gentlemen, let's get into this and let's continue on. First of all, let's go to this, pop this in, and hopefully it doesn't let us down. And then we will go here, and it looks like we're all good. So we are Exodus 30?
31.
31. Okay, so let's head over here. Both of these. Okay, so Exodus 31. And Eli, we got this. Here we go. And much love to everybody. Thank you again for spending some time with us and for spending the time with the word of Yah. And Yahuwah spoke unto Moshe, saying, See, I have called by name Bethsel, the son of Uri, the son of Kori, and the tribe of Yehuda. And I have filled him with the Ruach Elohim. What did you guys say?
Ruach of Elohim.
Ruach of Elohim, spirit of Elohim. And I have filled him with the Ruach of Elohim in wisdom and in understanding and in knowledge and in all manner of workmanship, to devise cunning works, to work in gold and in silver and in brass.
Mine says to make designs for work in gold and silver and bronze.
Okay. And in cutting of stones, to set them, and in carving of timber, to work in all manner of workmanship. And I, behold, I have given with him, I don't even know what this word is. Aholiav. I've given him with Aholiav, the son of Akiamak, of the tribe of Dan, and in the hearts of all that are wise-hearted I have put wisdom, that they may make all that I have commanded you. The tabernacle of assembly, and the ark of the testimony, and the mercy seat that is thereupon, and all the furniture of the tabernacle, and the table and his furniture, and the pure menorah with all his furniture, and the altar of incense, and the altar of the ascending smoke offering with all his furniture, and the laver and his foot. And the laver was the basin. And the cloths of service, and the holy garments of Aaron the priest, and the garments of his sons to minister in the priest's office. And the anointing oil and sweet incense for the holy place, according to all that I have commanded you, shall they do. And Yahuwah spoke unto Moshe, saying, Speak unto the children of Yisrael, saying, Truly my Shabbats ye shall guard, for it is a sign between me and you throughout your generations, that we may know that I am Yahuwah Mekodishikem. I don't even know how to say that right. Let's try that. Oh, I didn't have a...
Up in the NIV it says, who makes you holy.
Makes you holy. So, like Mekodishikem. Okay, so this is a... we're running into a command, right? But this is going to be a sub-command. Mm-hmm. And so we need to add this into the sub-command. So Exodus 31 will be a commandment under the commandment of keeping the Shabbat that we already have. Ye shall guard the Shabbat, therefore, for it is holy unto you. Everyone that defiles it shall surely be put to death. For whosoever does any work therein, that soul shall be cut off from among his people. I'm going back up real quick to 13. It says throughout your generations. Those people all came and they went. Does that mean the Shabbat is gone?
No, all generations.
It says throughout your generations. I mean, technically,
still the generations. We can still technically be the generation of the Israelites.
Yep, that's true. All right, and 15. 6 days may work be done, but in the seventh is the Shabbat of rest, holy to Yahuwah. Whosoever does any work in the Shabbat, he shall surely be put to death. Wherefore the children of Yisrael shall guard the Shabbat, to do the Shabbat throughout their generations for a perpetual covenant. It is a sign between me and the children of Yisrael forever. For in 6 days Yahuwah made the heavens and the earth, and on the seventh day he rested and was refreshed. And he gave unto Moshe, when he had made an end of communing with him upon Mount Sinai, 2 sapphires of testimony, sapphire stones written with the finger of Elohim. All right, so this is real short. I guess we're going to make it out of this without a lot of time. But I guess even though it is short, I would have to say that it's very important. We just ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 verses that all talks about Shabbat. And if you ruin it, if you screw this up, you're to die, right? It says you should die. There's a couple points in here. We should be put to death.
If you do any work on it, you will die.
So I mean that is crazy. What happens though? What happens though if you have to do work? What happens if your cow falls?
If your oxen falls in the ditch, you
It
have to
talks
go
about
save
it.
it.
What happens if your neighbor comes over and needs absolute help? Like there's something going on.
It is better to do good on the Shabbat than Pharisees are doing.
Says who?
That's what YHWH said, our Messiah.
Right. And when did he say this?
He said
When he healed
the man's hand in the synagogue, the Pharisees came to him and said, "Why are you working on the Shabbat day? Don't you know that it's wrong to work on the Shabbat day?" And he goes, "What is better to do, evil on the Shabbat or to do good?" And they said, "Well, it's better to do good on the Shabbat." He goes, "Therefore, I've done good by helping this man and heal his hand."
But what about our Messiah? Everybody says that Jesus is our Sabbath. You guys remember that?
Literally makes zero sense. That is like
You can
the
keep
most-
Sabbath any day you want because Jesus is our Sabbath, is what I've heard hundreds of times.
According to y'all, he has his set dates, right? Throughout the entire Bible, he's always had his set dates on everything. He's never once said, "All right, I'll be the day you choose to celebrate Passover." Or people every single year they celebrate their own birthday, right? Why don't you just say, "My dad is my birthday. I will celebrate my birthday whenever I want." It doesn't make sense. You have your set date, and so does Yah. He has his set days of what he wants. And if you were to say Jesus is my Sabbath, you're basically defiling everything he said. You're basically disobeying him just because it's more comfortable for you.
Yeah, and again, it always comes to 2 Timothy 2:15. Study to show thyself approved unto Yah, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. And when we rightly divide the word of truth, we cannot trump pieces of the Bible. You cannot take something out of the letters of Brother Paul, and have him, you can't trump this, right? I mean, so many people have freed themselves from the law because they believe that what their pastors told them about the letters of Brother Paul, and it's bad. It's abomination. And if we are not keeping Sabbath, and back in the day, if you were working on the Sabbath, you were pulled outside and died. Now, do you think this was like, where do we draw the lines, right? What happens if you have a piece of paper on the ground in your kitchen as you walk by, you drop something? Do you pick up that piece of paper?
What does this piece of paper have on? I mean, if this piece of paper is like something that needs to, like, if it's like you're working with a piece of paper.
Well, you walked to the fridge, you opened the fridge, and a piece of paper flew out of the fridge, hit the ground. Do you pick this up?
I would say, yeah, pick it up.
Yeah. These are tricky questions. Huh?
It's not like you're going to like start a fire and pick up sticks. You're just picking the paper and put it back where it was.
So this is where we would want to study to show ourselves approved, right? And we have past things where we know that the guy that was picking up sticks, right? He got smoted, and
But
so
that was probably so he could go kindle fire.
yeah, so he could do his work. And we also know that people went out on Shabbat for food, and there was nothing to be found. And so I don't know. These are the questions. These are trick questions. I do not know. It's like the question I asked you guys the other day. I can't remember what it was, but we did not know the answer to it.
It was if blood transfusions.
Blood transfusions, yeah. And there's a couple of our brothers and sisters out there that were talking about that. And one of our sisters was talking about maybe it would be okay if you're sharing a life or saving a life. While another sister was talking about her sister, where she basically started taking blood transfusions years ago, and now that's all she is she's doing blood transfusions, and I don't have the answers to a lot of this stuff. Where does it have the technicality? I believe that the way the Jews do this is improper. They have like 1,000 commands for Shabbat, to where they even would hire a Gentile to flip their lights on and do things of that nature. And I don't believe that is what rest is about. I do not believe that. And I would say if a piece of paper fell out of your fridge, I would say if it's something, you would pick it up, right? I mean, you're not starting a project. You're not, going under your stuff. I'm just giving us tricky questions to kind of go over to try to figure this stuff out. And I don't have the answers to it. Some people are like, absolutely not. The Jews would not pick up a piece of paper on the ground. But I mean, if you are, we're trying to follow the laws, statutes, and commands to the absolute best ability that we have. And there's nothing more important than pleasing our Creator. Okay, so I guess with that is going to end a kind of a short segment here. Gentlemen, anything else to add?
I want to go back to something you said where you said people have freed themselves from the Torah, and it's not that people have freed themselves from it, but they have decided that they are going to change the way they want to believe, right? They choose for themselves. They don't free themselves from the Torah, but rather they enslave themselves unto death. When they
Absolutely.
go from the Torah, it's like they're not doing any better for themselves by saying they don't want to follow the law anymore and they're going to go live how they want because Jesus died on the cross for them, and that's it. They're done. They're doing harm to themselves in the future because, like we say when we do our Youth for Yah, every action has its consequence, whether now or 100 years from now, whether in the next life, there's going to be a consequence, or whether good or bad that you do.
And if you're choosing, that was beautiful. If you're choosing to free yourself from law, you're not really freezing anything, right? You're bonding yourself into the depths of Sheol, where it does talk in other books, some of the extracurricular book, about when you die, the people that die in our Messiah, the people that are following the law, statutes, and commands, it appears that you go into a sleep, right? And you are awoken at the last trump, when the trumpet shall sound and the dead in Christ shall rise. But the people that have rejected the Torah, that have rejected the Messiah, that have not rejected his laws, you reject the Creator by rejecting his laws. You would put his laws on the cross and say they don't apply to you. And then you'll get super sick by eating a piece of bacon or something you haven't cooked right. And, it's an abominable food. But yet the bacon and pig is one of the greatest traps the Christians will ever have, that they will ever fall into, because they refuse to give up their pork because it makes them very angry. It makes them so angry.
There's turkey bacon. It's turkey, not pig.
Yeah, there's turkey bacon, and it's not the same thing, right? It does not. It's been, I don't know how many years, 7 years since we've had pork. I don't know. Maybe 8. I don't remember. But almost 9 years. And so I remember, and you guys will probably remember less, but I grew up with BLT sandwiches. I grew up with abominable foods and things of that nature. And you can give it up. It's I guess it's cheaper than beef, I guess is what they say. And that's how the USA always labeled it. It was like the cheap white meat or something, or the next thing. I mean, and that's the thing is all of the producers of pigs, they make their money selling you pig. And, it's easy to raise pigs. Pigs are super easy, and they have a ton of little piglets, and they all grow up to be big old fat nasty things. And, they're it's abominable. So,
and if you look throughout the entire Bible, right, no Yisraelite had a pig farmer. There were no groups of pigs in the Yisraelite camps, right?
How do we know that?
There was never a pig in there. They had pigs in the Gentile lands. You had all the pigs in Gentile lands. That's why pigs were unclean.
So would it be bad to have a herd of pigs?
I don't think the animal
Maybe it's like
itself,
eating
the
animal,
I think having because they were like waste bins, right? They would go around eating all the trash, keep the land clean.
If you wanted, and I've seen videos coming out of long time ago, where in Las Vegas is like the city of evil. It's actually every place in Babylon now is a city of evil. But they have, and you guys wouldn't know this, but when you go to Vegas, there's like buffet lines. Mm. And for those who don't know what a buffet is in the States, North America, it's all you can eat, right? They have trays and trays and trays and plates of food, and it never stops. But they make that food every single day, and they had to dump it out to the pigs. And so there's pigs outside of Las Vegas, and they would consume everything. Like, they would just take all the huge truckloads of excess food, and it makes North Americans look really, really bad when you're dumping out like all this beautiful steaks and all this stuff to the pigs, because where else are you going to do it? But that's what they do, is they're consumers. So I would see that there would be a place for pigs if you needed to get rid of trash and stuff of that nature, right? You're not going to be, there's no other animals that's going to consume that kind of food out of Las Vegas like a pig, right? They're just, they're going to nail it. Maybe it's a pack of dogs and things, but it's not going to be the same as a pig.
Yeah, pigs are like, they can just eat.
They can eat and they don't get hurt, right? They can completely eat. They live with the kind of worms and the kind of bacteria in them that would annihilate a human. And everyone's like, oh, you just got to cook it right, or you didn't cook it right, or, you don't cook it at all, right? You're not supposed to be eating that stuff. So we either choose the will of our Creator. And where I was going with that whole thing, we choose the will of our Creator or we don't. But when we die, according to the book, right, if you're in the will of Yah, you sleep. And if you're not, you immediately end up in a place where you are 100% guilt-ridden. You understand that you have rejected your Creator, and you're sitting there in terror until judgment. And when judgment comes, there's nothing you can do, right? So we have literally one chance at saving our soul. The most important thing we have to protect in our entire lives is our souls as individuals. And we cannot, and just like myself, I cannot pay your way into the Shamayim. I cannot pay your way into the kingdom. Everything is your guys' choice, just like it's all of you guys out there. We choose what we want to do. And at the end of the day, we can either choose against the will of Yah, or we can go with him. And there's no reason not to go with him, right? Our dog's over there sleeping, if you guys can hear. She's dreaming. So she's making squeaking sounds. So that's basically it. Anyone have any kind of, Eli, you're not saying anything. What do you got here?
Follow the Torah.
Follow the Torah.
I want to say one more thing is that, remember when Yeshua told it was not Lazarus, but the rich man, and he's like, let me go back and at least tell all my family to listen. And he goes, they had Moses and they had the Torah and they still the prophets and they still don't listen. Don't be like that person. If you're hearing this today, this is for Yah. He obviously sent you here for a reason that you need to change your life around. You need to open your Bible and understand that the Torah is good, and if you are living in a life of sin, it's time to turn around so you do not end up asking Abraham for a dip of water because it's so hot, right? This is your chance to listen to Moses and listen to the Torah.
Yeah, and even I go for even further on that. Good job, Kate. Is that the rich man? You know, when we're talking about Sheol and death, that's what he said. He says, even if I could, there's a chasm between me and you. They can't see you, you can't get to them. But in your life, you had the good things, but Lazarus had the bad things, and now you're having the bad things. And it's not, we get wrapped up into 80 years of life or whatever our years are, right? Especially as kids, as youth. One day means absolutely everything. You take away something from my kids for like one day, and it drives them insane. They think it's the end of time, and they don't understand that it's just it's so fast. And the older that you get, the faster life goes, and it's over in a blink. But that's not eternity, right? This is our Creator knows no limits with time. We don't know what when our Creator was ever created. We don't know if He was created. We don't know anything about this, but we do know that one day is 1,000 years to Him, which is imagine that, right? He's not even going through a single day. You're not even going through a tenth of His day when we have a life like this, and so our hope and our eternity is after this life, right? We are going to get to that point. We are going to end this life very soon. All of us. It's just a matter of time how we end up, wherever we end up. But we need to protect the most important thing, which is our soul. And unless we are keeping in obedience to our Creator, we are not in control of the soul. And so you will end up with feelings of guilt. You will end up with feeling all sorts of horrible things in this life. And the feelings of guilt are probably trying to get you on the right path. And you won't have guilt. There is a freedom in the Torah. And that freedom that Paul's always talking about is that you're not free from the Torah. You're free from the guilt of living outside of the Torah, because those in the Torah and those who have the faith of Messiah Yahushua, we don't care when we die. It doesn't matter. This earth is going to pass away. These devils are going to take over this world. They're going to do everything they're going to do, right? But it doesn't matter to us because it's just a small part of our life. And regardless of what your life is or how dark it is or what it is, we must make it through to the other side, because just like Lazarus, our best world is coming soon. This will not be our best world. This is the devils and demons have this world. So that's it. Anyone? Jake, got anything? Eli, got anything?
No.
All right, everybody.
Bibles.
You read your Bibles. Yep. Much love, everybody. Shalom.
Shalom.